Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story channel. My name is Artieka.
I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 6. You looked at me like you weren't sure what I was going to say. No clue what this episode is titled. It'll be in the subject of the video though. If you guys haven't already, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Let's review this thing.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm just gonna start with the train wreck.
Let's do it, man.
Cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
All right. So I think the expert that came on the screen that said that they've been watching was Pastor Cal.
Yeah.
And he said that they're gonna set up something for them to do together because they gotta do something. Yeah. At this point, Alyssa's just wasting a lot of money. So they set up for them to play tennis together. And after they finished playing tennis, Chris asked Alyssa to talk, and she clearly didn't want to. She said she isn't comfortable with moving in. And because they were talking about what they're going to do post honeymoon, which of course we all know. After the honeymoon, we go see where each spouse lives. After we go see where they live, we move into the neutral apartment together.
Yeah.
Chris was like, I'm moving in. She was like, you're saying that as if I'm not going to. Like, you've already made this decision. I was like, no, he made a decision that he was moving in.
And you're more than welcome too.
Right. Because usually when they do these, they put them in 2-bedroom apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it because a lot of the time, well, let me not say a lot of time. I think the purpose of the second bedroom is a cool off spot for the other person so that you don't have the I got so overwhelmed I had to go home. You can go in another room and I'm not going to be there. So.
It's also used as a, if it doesn't work, and like we all see Mav's track record, it tends not to work.
It's a bad track record. I mean, but I'm saying like the intention behind it, not going, because they have to go into every season, or at least my thought process is if I'm going to do something, I should go into every season, not saying, oh, this is going to be good TV, but, oh, we should be making some great matches.
I think, that second bedroom is used for what you said it was used for, but also for like how Jacob and Haley, like they just didn't sleep together because they wasn't getting it together.
Haley didn't like the doodle.
Haley didn't like him, so
she didn't like the doodle. Remember, they was cool. They had sex.
Oh yeah,
and then she was like,
his doodle wasn't good.
Who said doodle the first time?
I don't know.
It was Kevin Hart. He was talking about lazy doodle.
But she stopped the conversation with Chris when he was saying that he's committed to this. And, she was like, stop. You're insinuating that I'm not. I was like, but you're not committed to the relationship because you don't like him. It's not hard to see that you don't like him, which is okay. That's the thing. She doesn't think it's okay that she does not like him.
She doesn't know how to be committed to the process.
Yeah.
Like, all she wants to do is be committed to not owing production money.
I don't even know. Like, I try my best to not put that in concept, not think about that. It's like, my thing is she's so focused on being considered to be a good person, but everything.
I'm gonna make me a I'm a good person t-shirt.
You shouldn't sell it. But but the thing about it is, it's like you're doing everything possible not to do anything with this man, and this man has not did anything to you.
Which he gets to,
but just
on this
existed.
episode.
Oh yeah, he definitely gets into that ass. Excuse my language, but you know, for him to like after that, after she said she stopped in the conversation, she was like, "Look at him.
Yeah,
He's doing hand gestures."
She goes over and she whines to production that he's not being kind, and then she complains about his hand gestures and him pointing. And like if I remember correctly, the pointing was like literally like him talking to someone.
Yeah, like
and pointing
it's
at
it's
what
like
they're
our
talking.
room is right there.
Yeah, or man, you know, there's a nice restaurant back over there. Like if you go down that street a little bit and like to the left, that's what his hand gestures were doing. And
or at least that's what production made it seem like.
He was talking to someone.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like you're a nice person, but that's what you point out.
Oh, he's pointing.
Like that came from the heart too, man. You meant that.
I said I'm so sick of her. It's literally in my notes. So he goes back up to his room and he calls his sister for advice while she's outside yelling at production about being sick of being positive. And I'm like, girl, when were you positive?
Yeah.
I missed it. So she says she hates him. And Montre to the rescue. He says this show is called Married at First Sight, not Single at First Sight. You need to figure out what you're going to do soon because the honeymoon's almost over. And I'm like, thank you for saying this in those words. I don't think it was harsh. I don't think it came off negatively, but it was definitely something that needed to be said because she is literally just like, this is the Alyssa show and everybody else needs to get in line. And it's like, no, this is Married at First Sight.
Yeah. Can we slow down a little bit and kind of discuss the fact that she says she hates him?
Someone that you don't know, that you have not taken a chance to get to know.
To get to know. You haven't known this person existed on the planet Earth for more than a week.
You are putting way too much energy into someone that has not done anything to you.
Absolutely. And the simple fact of hate is such a strong word, just like love is. Mm-hmm. Right? And a person is not quick to say, I love you, except Noid. And
Steve is like,
nah, we gotta slow that down. But
thank you.
You know, for a person to be like, I hate you, like that's a strong sentiment. Mm-hmm. You know, to tell a person that, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And it makes you wonder, it makes you wonder, what did he do?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? If anything, what did he do to this girl? Because for her to say, I hate you.
She's been like this since their wedding day. Yeah. And when he was on that after party, he said we've not spent more than an hour together. Mm-hmm. Total.
That whole time.
Yeah, like since they got married.
That's the crazy part, because we obviously watching know that he has not done anything to this girl. Mm-hmm. And for her to be like, I hate him, it's like, man, something's mentally wrong with this child. And she needs to, and no wonder she's single. Mm-hmm. You know.
So the next day, Alyssa meets up with Jasmina and Katina, while Chris meets up with Lindsay and Mark. I thought it was funny because Noy and Steve stay out of it completely. And then on top of Noy and Steve staying out of it, we know how Elijah is going to react. Yeah. Because we saw in his confessional after dinner what he had to say.
We saw him on the after party.
No. But I'm saying like the after party is hindsight.
No, I'm saying like after the, you're right.
But like the after party is hindsight. Like after they had the dinner in this episode, Elijah was very vocal about how he felt. And Michael is like, I don't have time for this. I wake up at 4:00 in the morning. I'm going to bed. So, again, Alyssa met up with Jasmina and Katina, and she says that she's not blaming him, but she feels he's blaming her. And Jasmina asked her, well, has she done everything? She gives some roundabout answer, which it seems like she's very calculated with that. Like, she's definitely very good at using white woman, I've been attacked trigger words. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe. What was her other words that she used?
I don't even remember what she said. I stopped listening to her.
No. I'm saying like from the beginning, like from the I'm not staying in the hotel room with him on our wedding night was like, I'm uncomfortable.
Comfortable and safe.
I don't feel safe. And it was some other buzzword. Like she knew the buzzwords to go for. To get that. But so she doesn't say yes to Jasmina, and Katina says you have to get to know him for yourself because you're basing everything off of
what people
have told you. And basically she ignored what Katina had to say. So
Jasmina was saying that she believed that she was done at day one.
And that's when she didn't say no.
Yeah.
And then she also asked her, has she done everything? And she was like, well, but she couldn't say yes. I didn't really write anything down about Chris talking to
Chris talked to Lindsay and Mark, and Chris was like, overall paraphrasing what he said was he basically thought they were compatible and he was still trying if she's willing to try. Mark pretty much was like, you gotta let that go. Like Lindsay was, you know,
Lindsay definitely don't fool with her. So
yeah,
there's that.
Yeah, I think after that everybody got together, or you know, that was the next thing with them in it.
Yeah, so everybody gets together for dinner. At dinner, Mark asked about bumps in the marriage this week. Chris said they're trying to figure out a plan. Alyssa smiled and declined any conversation about it. And then they got to the point of talking about what happens after the honeymoon. And Alyssa says, I haven't talked to Chris about this yet, but I'm proposing a strategy of maybe one of us can move in for the first half and then the other one can move in for the second half. So there's 8 weeks total. There's 7 weeks left. So she wants to split these 3.5.
And when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. It's not about being married to Chris. It's about
being on the TV
show. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Lindsay don't like you. So you're not trying to hang out with her. Jasmina is struggling in her marriage, but she's focused on her marriage. Katina is focused on her marriage.
They struggling too because of Elijah one.
Yeah. Noe is not involved in anybody. So I'm like, who are you trying to hang out with? Because it like while you're at the apartment, all of the girls are going to be mostly hanging out with their husbands.
Well, she was basically saying that, you know, when there's group events that have to be filmed, she won't have to travel to them. She'll already be there. And if they want to come over and hang out in the evenings, then she'll be there to do that.
But it'll get to a point to where they'll ask about Chris, or should ask about Chris.
They should, but everybody's been not so far.
Everybody hasn't said anything about them because it's awkward. It's like, what do you say to this? Because
and it would continue.
Yeah.
If they were if they're all back in their respective apartments and Jasmina and Michael are like, oh, Elijah one has to work late, so Katina's gonna come over, and Alyssa's like, well, I'll come too. And nobody's gonna ask her anything about Chris.
Yeah, nobody's gonna talk to her. Anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead and finish, man, because she upsets me, man.
So Chris says he's not into this basically divorce apartment sharing, because that's what it feels like. Like we're sharing a kid after a divorce. He loves the group of people, but he did not sign up for them. This experience is not to become divorced parents of an apartment. This was for him to find a wife. So either you need to be all in, or not even all in. He said, if you're 1% in, then I'm all in.
Yeah.
But if you're not in at all, tell me now so I can cut my losses. She cries and says she doesn't want to talk about this in front of everybody. I really hate that Jasmina came to her defense in the way that she did, because it was irritating.
Yeah.
I wish she would have had a little bit more backbone for that, because Alyssa can be your friend, but Alyssa can also be your friend who is wrong.
Yeah. Like, I just don't feel like the girls, like I told you that before, when they were sitting down talking to her, like Katina and Jasmina, I wish they would have held their feet to the fire a little bit more. I wish everybody would hold her feet to the fire a little bit more, because she is unfairly treating Chris like he's done something to her. And we obviously see that he has not done anything to this girl, but trying to figure out what's going on with her.
Right. So they get together after dinner. She says that she wants to participate in things with the group, and she keeps saying she wants the experience but not the process. And he's like, buzzword. You want to experience things with the group but not with me. So you're not here for me. Therefore, why are you here? Mm-hmm. Because the group is not what you signed up for.
Yeah, like it's interesting that she's allowed to say that. And allowed to do that, because as they were talking, her and Chris, she forgets the fourth wall, as what it's called, and talks to the production, just like, see, this is what he does. He just constantly asks me over and over again. And
I want to be like, you're not answering the question.
Because you want to do everything off camera.
No, she doesn't. The reason I say no, she doesn't, is because she won't talk to him off camera. She won't talk to him on camera. And then when they do happen to have a conversation off camera, she's like, that's not what I said. Yeah. So she's backpedaling out of it because there's no proof out of it. She cares a lot about how she's coming across, but she doesn't realize how much of this is going to be used in these episodes.
She don't know how it's going to be used.
Like, it's not even a how, it's how much of it, because you're coming off as a very terrible person.
If I come, what she tell Predict? If I come off as a negative, in a negative way, I'm gonna be very pissed.
And be pissed. What else is there for you to do besides be pissed?
I was like, if you don't get your
like, that is real entitlement.
Privilege.
I'm going to be pissed. Who cares?
Nobody cares but your mama, man.
And her mama don't care.
And her mama is like, you finna go on here, and her mama knew how she was gonna act.
Well, parents know their kids.
Yeah.
I had this. My mom has now started watching Married at First Sight. Hi, Mom, by the way. And like, we were talking about
this. You said that like the Fresh Prince did. Hi, Tanya.
No, it's like, if you say that, Lily threw a temper tantrum today because she couldn't go outside, I would be like, that's very on brand.
You probably would describe it, and me and you would laugh at the fact that we know exactly how she could do.
And anybody that's been around her in those moments will also be able to tell you, like,
this is her line.
This is the routine of what she does. Like, she gets upset, she comes in, she throws herself on the floor, she gets upset again, and then she's like, why aren't you caring that I'm upset? Okay, can I have a hug and a kiss?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
She want to hug it out afterwards.
So it's like, Alyssa's mom knows that this is how Alyssa is. So she's just like, could you not do this? Because if you do this, this is how you're going to come off.
I don't want you to go on national TV and act like you don't got no home training.
And then people are going to be asking me, what's wrong with her? Because they've seen my face at the wedding.
Yeah. Man, Alyssa just... I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing her talk with, I think Pastor Kyle was in the preview. But Chris has been so calm throughout this whole thing. It's eerie, because I know I would have went off on her when we were sitting down talking about the thing that we said we were going to talk about when we left the table. or that's what we sat down to talk about. He was calm enough to have that conversation. She had one time to say, I don't want to talk about it. I would have went completely off. Completely. Because it's one thing because they're going home the next day, right? Mm-hmm. So it's one thing for them to be going home the next day, but it's another thing for me not to know what like my plan of action for when I get home.
No, he knows his plan of action. He's moving into the apartment because he's keeping up his end of the deal.
I'm saying he doesn't know if she's coming or not. It really doesn't matter, but he doesn't know if she's coming there or not, and he doesn't know where he needs to go in this relationship. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I would have been like, man, I'm gonna cut my losses and do what I need to do contractually.
I am here so I don't get fined.
Right.
So while they're having that discussion, she talks to production. She says they have discussed their differences, and he's like, tell me what they are. And she's just like, I got nothing. And then she backs out of that conversation. Where she couldn't come up with anything, but she's always saying they have fundamental differences. It's like she sat down on her wedding night with a glass of champagne and was like, I'm a kill him with this. Fundamental differences, unsafe. Like she was writing out all her buzzwords and she was like, this is how I'm going to get through the next 8 weeks. Yeah. And she just had her stuff going and she couldn't answer any questions, but she was just throwing her buzzwords out left and right, left and right, left and right. I really wish that it wasn't Pastor Cal coming to talk to her or to them first. I really wish it was Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dr. Pepper can just outright just say, you don't want to be here, just say it.
Yeah.
And she's not going to let her back out of the conversation of just...
Right. I don't want to talk about this.
I'm going to walk away.
No, you can't.
Well, if you walk away, that's your way of saying that you're walking out of this contract. Come on back. That'll get her back.
Yeah.
But Alyssa and Chris, we have spent like 20 some minutes talking about them and they still make my head hurt. And I don't know how Married at First Sight can solve these types of issues.
Like for not having it come on like that?
Mm-hmm. Like,
I don't know.
If people don't want to do this,
or if people are so picky, like that's the thing. You can't be picky and doing this because if you are picky, it's just going to be a mess. It's going to be what we see.
I don't even think it's a matter of being picky. I think this is you being stuck on this is the way that I'm going to do it. And production needs to get in line. And that's not what this is.
Yeah.
You don't executive produce this show.
Right. You're honestly just
in the words of production, you are the talent.
Yeah.
Talent does what we say because you get mic'd up because I said get mic'd up.
Yeah.
So you need to move into this apartment because I said move into this apartment. Or you can say, I don't want to do this anymore. Right. But those are the options.
Right.
I think it needs to be a little bit more clear cut and defined like that.
Yeah.
Since all the other couples didn't really have anything else going on, we'll start with Noy and Steve because they were very quick. Noy and Steve got up and hiked to a waterfall. He was supposed to be teaching her how to float. I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, she really trusts him. Like, she's super calm. And then a fish bit him on the ankle. And
man,
he did not let her go.
He did not let her go.
But he was like, ah.
And you know, that scared the mess out of her.
It did. Rightfully so. If I'm trusting you with my life and then you scream.
And jerk her up real fast like that.
Something happened. Tell me what happened. So, Going back to the dinner scene, Mark asked at dinner about the bumps in the marriage this week.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Noy says that Steve is more analytical than she is, but Steve says he's learning to give Noy more verbal affirmations, and I like that about them. They're like, they're not accentuating something that's negative about the other person. They're just like, this is how this person is. And being more analytical is not a negative trait. It's just, this is different from me. I get it. Let me figure out a way to be around, like get around it and understand it. But that was pretty much all I had for them. Did you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
Katina and Elijah, they go horseback riding.
He's got to calm down the way he acts towards her.
He thinks that being intense is funny and cute.
Yeah, like,
but it's really not.
You need to, like, the thing that he's messing up on is you don't know her, right?
Correct.
You've only been married to her. Like, he's taking the idea of, oh, I'm married to her, I can treat her how I want to. But you still have to treat it like it's a delicate situation. Just because you're married to her, you still, you just met her. Like, you have to treat it like, yeah, we're married, but I still got to date you. You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, a lot of things are amplified, but you have to be on your best behavior and see how she reacts. You're trying to push it to the limit to see how far your limit can go.
And he was being condescending as well when she was like, I don't remember how to make the horse stop or slow down or something. He was like, you weren't listening. And I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
just say I got you.
Don't tell me what to do again.
Right.
Because if you're in a high anxiety situation for you, because just because it's not high anxiety for him doesn't mean it's not for her. If you're in a high anxiety situation, you can forget things super easily. Yeah. And so I just want him to calm down, like bring it down 1,000.
Right.
So fast forward into the dinner, when Mark asked about the bumps in the marriage, Elijah says he understands that there's no longer an I, but a we. And he says he realizes that he couldn't be with someone that was super passive. I think that it's not just that he can't be with someone that's super passive. I think he's pushing Katina to have to be aggressive with him.
Yeah, like she has to stand up for herself because it's like she realizes like if she doesn't, he's just gonna run all over her. But it's like she's not a very in your face person, and you can tell that from her, from just seeing her these few episodes, and it's like, why are you so aggressive? And you know she's not that aggressive.
Right.
So.
So after the dinner, they do their couples debriefing about Alyssa and Chris. And Elijah is happy that Alyssa said what she said in front of everyone, so nobody jumps in and talks about their relationship again. And I think he was meaning that more so for, I can't even say who I think that was more so for, because Alyssa tried it with Lindsay. But I think that's also his way of trying to keep Katina out of it. Yeah. So he's like, look, we ain't got to talk about this no more. They said what they said. They're done. Yeah. Let's all move on. Jasmina and Michael.
All right.
Or did you have anything else for Katina?
No, that's it. I really didn't have a lot for anybody but them. Yeah.
Actually, not even the first two. That one half of the first two.
Yeah.
So Jasmina and Michael did a double beach date with Katina and Elijah, and they kind of talked about why they were matched with each other. I
get what some of you guys were saying about Jasmina was being a little cold with Michael. She is. This episode, I felt like she wasn't into it, the whole thing. As much as I thought she was the last few episodes. So I get what you guys were saying. Still think Michael it's going to be Michael to mess it up. But Jasmina has to cheer up about what's going on.
Jasmina is just not the outwardly aggressive one in the relationship like Michael is. Michael is very much so, I have to say how I feel. Granted, Jasmina has a bit of that in her too. I think that she's not going to be the one to go up to him and be like, let me tell you where you had me messed up at.
Yeah.
And that's his approach. Mm-hmm. So they'll have to figure something out. Jasmina and Michael went to go hike to a waterfall, and he tried to carve their names in a rock with a stick. It did not work, but they were able to actually get in the water, and they took some pictures together and some video, and seems like they had a fairly decent day. At dinner that night, back to the marking the bumps in the relationship question, Michael said they have had bumps in their relationship, and he's working on being a better communicator with his wife. I think that that's something that they both are going to have to work on, because we can't just say it's all Michael's bad communication, because I think some of it is Jasmina's bad communication. But,
no, I'm with you on that.
But I do think that they're both going to have to do a little more give and take. I'm very interested to see next week with her finding out that he has a roommate, and not just a roommate, but a roommate that is a woman. Because it seems like that set her over the edge.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I just need to hear what that conversation was, because that's something you just don't leave out.
I mean,
now, I got a roommate, and you know.
That's all I have for them.
Yeah.
And last but not least was Lindsay and Mark. So they got over whatever they were going through at the end of the last episode, because they woke up cuddling.
Yeah.
She said they talked through, or one of them said they talked through the agreement from last night. Lindsay is kind of irritated that Mark's landlord, who is also like
a friend, that's like a mom
or a friend.
It's a friend that's like a mom to him. Or
it's an older person.
Yeah.
Keeps calling.
I thought it was his mama, but but they said the buzzword mama, since we talk about buzzwords.
And you was like, it's his mama. And it's like, nah, not his mama, but a mom to him.
Yeah.
She's calling saying that she's going to evict him, and he there's some bugs in the house. So Mark says bugs. Lindsay says bed bugs. And Lindsay was treating bed bugs way too cool for it to be bed bugs, because she was like, we'll just go and get all the stuff out of that apartment and we'll move it into mine. I was like, we're not moving them bed bugs in my house.
Right. Yeah. She did say we got to get something like about the bed bugs, like get something done about that. Yeah. But I thought it was dope that she just stepped up like that. Like, yo, don't worry about it, because his attitude had changed, of course. Like, nobody wants to hear about them having to figure out where and how they're going to move immediately after they get married. But she stepped up in a major way to like comfort him in that situation, in that moment. And you can tell that's something that he wasn't used to.
Well, when they got back, he was going to have to move anyways. Even if it was a temporary move, he was going to have to move anyways. Like, I do think that it's great of her to say that, hey, we're going to put some plans in motion. We're going to get this stuff going so your things can be out of this apartment. Again, I wouldn't take the step to say moving them into mine, because I don't know the state of the things that are in the apartment. However, she's a hospice nurse, if I'm not mistaken. She's seen a lot. So she's probably not as freaked out by, like, say, the bed bugs as your average everyday person would be. But we got to do something. That's just the Artieka of it all.
That's normal person of it all.
I know, but the way that she was just like, oh, yeah, you'll just move in. And I'm like, oh, no, we're going to get rid of these bed bugs first. All of your your things
can go to a storage.
are going to a storage. Anything that could have had a bed bug living on it needs to be treated.
Yeah, first.
And 5 cats, we can go ahead and start getting rid of some cats now.
Yeah.
So Mark asked that question about the bumps in the marriage at dinner. He says that his is allowing Lindsay to help him, and he's never had that in a relationship. So kudos to Lindsay for coming through, because he ain't ever experienced anything like that. After dinner, they had the Alyssa and Chris debriefing, and Mark was like, I'm just happy you did not say anything.
Right.
When Alyssa was like, what did she say?
Don't make that face or don't move or something while she's talking.
Yeah, and I was like,
she ate something.
She was eating a strawberry.
Yeah.
Like, she made a face, yes, but she had been making faces the whole time.
She was like, I need alcohol.
But then she also was like, eating a strawberry that she had. But the thing is that at that moment, trying to correct me could have gone one way or another.
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay,
especially after knowing like how Chris is feeling and hearing what she's saying. Yeah.
Alyssa should be happy that she got the I'm not doing anything, because she could got the girl, you can shut up talking to me. That could have gone a little bit further and
definitely
deeper.
Could have went another way.
All right, so I was actually, I wasn't on Twitter, but this was sent to me. And it said, it was from Dr. Viviana, and it says, in response to your many tweets saying that Alyssa should have been kicked off or sent home, I'd like to see any of you legally force someone to get on a plane and or separate you from your legal spouse against your wishes. And correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's been I haven't watched all the seasons.
Yeah.
You've watched more seasons than I have, but I haven't watched all the seasons. I know that they made Michaela come home.
Yeah.
And they were just in Florida. Like, it wasn't even like they was somewhere exotic. Is there anybody else that you can think of that they made go home or made do something?
Nah, not that.
There has to be another person, though, because she's stating this as like it's complete fact. And I'm like, no, Michaela is the first example that sticks out in my mind, because Zach got COVID. Everybody else got to continue their honeymoon. And Michaela had to go back to Houston.
Yeah, I don't know what she was trying to say or what she was saying or inferring to or secretly messaging all this stuff, but I mean, they seriously need to ask this girl, is she trying to, what is her intentions at this point? Because I mean, like, obviously we know that it's not to get to know Chris or get to know, like, see how this marriage could turn out or see if he's a good person. We know that that's not the case for her.
She's a good person.
Because she's a good person, but we know that her main concern at this point is to be able to hang out with her girls,
Jasmina and Alyssa,
and Katina, because we're talking about Alyssa.
Jasmina and Katina, and I think Noy is not fooling with her after the whole eagle tattoo thing, like eagle, but it was really possible. A lion. And then, of course, Lindsay's just completely shut out. Yeah. So it's really just Jasmina and Katina that she would be wanting to hang out with.
Which, what I don't think she realizes is that once they get back home, they still have their worldly things that they have to do before you came into their lives. So it's like, how much of hanging out are you going to do with it? It's just almost like you're just here for the free vacation.
No, it's definitely, I'm here for the free vacation.
So I don't know what Dr. V was trying to say or saying there. So
yeah, it was just basically Alyssa said, and I'm telling you, I'm not going.
Yeah,
I'm sticking around. But this is also the same person that was talking to their attorney the day that they got married, trying to figure out how they could get out of it.
And that was on the after party.
That was on the after party. So
yep.
There's a lot going on with this couple.
Yeah,
it's not this season. I think that if we could eliminate the Alyssa and Chris dramatics, this would actually be a solid season worth watching, because we would be able to watch people who are genuinely attempting to be married to each other and find their forever mate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
You got a question?
It's something to do with Katina's and Jasmina's response to Alyssa.
Do you think Katina and Jasmina said enough?
That's a good one. I'll go with that one, man.
All right. If you got anything else?
No, that's it.
If you guys haven't already, please, again, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and comment down below. Let us know if Katina and Jasmine said enough to Alyssa to put her on the right path.
Yep. Make sure to like it.
Oh, yeah, like it.
Like the video. And also Sunday, well, I don't know. This Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, so I don't know.
We haven't figured that out yet.
Haven't figured it out. But we do what would you call it?
It's a live.
We do a live with Jack and Glenn, with Jack and Glenn's channel on Sundays. So check out their channel. We may go live. We'll probably go live some point this weekend. Maybe not. But yeah.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, Tommy's birthday is 2/12. So if you see this, comment and tell him happy birthday.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
He's checking a new box.
Yeah, that's too funny, man.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Peace.